You notice how fast stories get packaged when the cameras show up? An 18-year-old black kid from Mississippi dies on Horton Island. Within days, the same names start moving. Ben Crump, Al Sharpton's, right? Then AACP stage, press conferences, undetermined, foul play. The usual temperature gets turned up, but there's one person who was actually on water with him that day. Not a lawyer, not a preacher. It was his friend. And when that friend finally speaks, the packaging starts looking different. We're going to watch this in the order it actually happened.
I don't think y'all have a clue how disgusting this shit really is. They're treating this shit like LeBron James making his decision on which team he's going to get traded to. This is some of the worst shit I've ever seen. And only the black community does this shit. You have never seen this type of shit anywhere else. Announcing an autopsy? Are you fucking kidding me? If y'all can't smell the coffee by now, then you're just selectively stupid. And there is no hope for you. You will live and die a dumbass. Like, get the fuck out of here with this shit. It's extremely draining how people cannot see through the plays. These people are fucking evil. Fuck Ben Crump. Fuck Al Sharpton. To be real with you, fuck Colin Kaepernick too. Oh, and fuck Tyler Perry too. Like, why are y'all like this? Why are y'all so obsessed with racism? Just take your ass overseas. Since America is so bad, pack your shit and get the fuck on. Y'all have the money to do it. Like, this shit is fucking insane. But they're doing this because they know they could get money from the dumb niggas of society that believe in all the narratives. It's fucking sad. Damn near depressing. And logical thinking people are looking at this shit like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? Y'all just completely forgot about Carmelo Anthony, huh? What they said on Toy Story? We can't play with you no more. Y'all are fucking weird, man. Like, nobody is denying the fact that Nolan Wells died a mysterious death. We just want the truth. We want to wait on the actual evidence. We don't want to just jump to conclusions that the motherfucker was lynched by some white boys. Y'all are also skipping the fact that there were black people involved as well. Why are y'all like this? Y'all cherry pick certain information in order to spread a narrative that will cause the low IQ community to become outraged and just go at white people. It's sad. Y'all niggas need to be studied.
Man, that's the first red flag. When the people who profit from the spotlight gets there before the people who actually knew them, that says a lot. They treat every black body like it's a campaign, like it's some sort of a part of campaign material. And somehow the same voices that scream, believe black people, only mean the black people who stay on script. Now, I want you to watch the official performance.
Of the overlaying skin of fractures of the underlying skull. These findings are inconclusive for perimortem incision and the absence of associated injuries. This finding, however, is significant enough to be highlighted in this preliminary report for further investigation. It is important to reiterate that the finding could not have been observed in the first alter of the overlaying skin.
So Crump standing there reading undetermined like it's a victory. The cause is undetermined. The manner is undetermined. But the narrative is already decided. That's the part that should bother you, right? When the facts are incomplete, but the political use of those facts are already complete. Then, of course, the volume, it just goes higher. I was really, I ain't gonna say I was surprised.
I don't believe he drowned. I believe he was killed. But I'm a judge that has to weigh all the evidence. Preliminarily, that's what I see. You don't leave your friend on an island seeing that he has left his phone and not at least go back. You came there with him. You left him there, you say, because he wanted to stay. But you notice that he's left his phone. How was he going to get home in the first place? Wouldn't he need his phone in order to call his transportation? Or they should have known some of that. He would have said, I'm going to get home by such and such way. Hey man, I'm not coming. Y'all go ahead. I got a young lady. Okay, man. Is she gonna bring you home? How you gonna get home? You don't ask any of those questions? So you must have asked those questions. If you didn't, that's more evidence that I believe contributed to the reasonable suspicion. So I'm with the prosecutor. How about that so far? So you won't have to say that the judge is making conclusions without getting the evidence. The prosecutor has found enough evidence to create a reasonable suspicion that a crime occurred. And now they're going to interview everybody and come up with some answers on whether to indict. So I'm there with the prosecutor so far. Take it to the grand jury. Now I have to wait until what the grand jury comes back with before I support any charge or any lack of charges.
Now, Judge Mathis says he believes Nolan was killed. He's not looking at evidence. He's looking at Mississippi history and trying to fill in his own blanks. That's how this always works, right? When the facts are slow, the ideology runs ahead and writes the ending early. And black people are expected to clap for the early ending. Now, the first quiet correction.
That the United Cajun Navy are so forthcoming. The fact that they told us, we haven't heard from any of their local officials, that Nolan was found face down, fully clothed. Well, that's significant to us because the last time we saw him on the videos, he was without a shirt. So at what point did he put on a shirt? Somebody saw something. Somebody knows something. There were almost 300, 400 people. Somebody knows something. That the United
Okay, somebody tell me if I'm tripping, right? So they had to correct the clothing. Fully clothed became only swim trunks. Small detail, but it shows how the story was already being shaped before the body was even fully examined. When the people running the narrative can't even get the basic facts right, everything after that should be questioned. Harder at that. Now, the temperature, it shifts.
Ashamed of himself. Al Sharpton should be ashamed of themselves. I'm right here in Mississippi. It's crazy that I had to fly down here to even get this information. They've been lying on these boys. I got evidence, and I'm going to show it to you, and I'm going to lay it out for you. It is a shame that boy Nolan did not get the respect that he deserved. In my opinion, they turned his death into a racial thing, destroying the community. You name it, they did it. And we got evidence that it wasn't just 4 boys with him. We got evidence that they asked Nolan to get back on the boat, and he refused to because he grown.
Facts.
We got evidence that the boys reached out to the parents, that Benjamin Crump and them didn't refuse to reach out to these boys. And I've talked to them. I've seen the evidence with my own eyes. I've seen that there was more than just 4 people. There was 3 boats full of kids. I know that they left and they had nothing to do with this. And instead of them saying and standing up for these boys and saying, look, we don't know what happened. We want justice for Nolan. These boys didn't have no involvement. Instead, they want to make it about race. And it is a shame. And
it's a shame. I'm going to stop him there. You can go watch the video. Shout out to Officer Tatum. I will be watching for his breakdown of all this information that he got talking to the 3 white boys or the families of the white boys that was with him. Up until now, we only got one side of the story, the Ben Crump and Nolan Wells family story, and everybody in their mother's story. We ain't hear nothing from those young boys except for the mother and the little subjective things that have been said. They haven't really said anything, but they opened up to Officer Tatum to get their side of the story, so I'm interested to see that. I'm also interested to hear the autopsy results, which I'll talk about in the next video. But Officer Tatum is right. If you're watching this and you're like, he's a coon, I'm a coon, whoever coon, you like to sit, because y'all love to throw out that word so quick. If you're watching this and you want, again, if you want this young man to have been murdered, you're a sick person. I want to hear, and I'm hoping that I hear, that he drowned on his own accord. Because I would never wish for no child, regardless of race, to be bludgeoned, drugged, killed by anybody. And that's regardless of race, right? So all of you people that are thinking that you're righteous, making all your stupid ass content, all your subjective content, trying to find all these subjective clues to tie things together to make sure you're just doing self-fulfilling prophecy. You want a racial outcome, so your brain and your subconscious is gonna make sure that everything you do, everything you say, and everything that you look up, you research, is related to finding these 3 boys guilty. You're not of a free mind. You're not focusing on you're not looking at anything objective. And you want this young man to be a victim. You don't want to hear that this young man just drowned. You want to hear that he's a victim of racial violence in America. Even though I'm gonna tell you, as a black father, I would send my kids with guns to hang out with their black friends and tell him to keep his head on a swivel and be mindful of what his black friends are doing versus any white kids. Okay, because you can act like the statistic is racist, but it doesn't eliminate its veracity. My child is a black young kid or a biracial kid is 9 times more likely to die from a person that looks like me and shares the same melanin color as me. That's fact. You can look at it, you can get all mad you want. You can up, down, turn around, sit down all you want. It's a real statistic. But let me know what you think in the comments. This has been a Shiesty Nurse clocking in before the shift. Are you interested to see what Officer Tatum, do you think he really has these receipts? What do you think about the Ben Crump announcing the autopsy results at the Chicago NAACP convention? Stay tuned. Shiesty Nurse clocking out.
Oh, wow. Somebody finally, what did I say? Somebody finally said the quiet part out loud, right? The friends are talking. And suddenly half the people who were loud go silent, because the second a black kid's actual friend starts speaking, the political value of the story drops. That's the part they never prepare you for. Now, this is the one, right here is the one that really, really matters. So y'all pay attention.
Y'all pretty much having a good time. Just like anybody would imagine, 18-year-olds, probably 20-year-olds, college students, out on the island, women. You know, you probably had alcohol. Y'all having a good time.
Yeah, of course.
And so where's Nolan in this? You know, you guys out there, the friend groups are out there, 3 boats full of people that came out there that seem to be the closest friend group.
Right.
Where's Nolan in this in comparison to where you and others are at?
Well, you know, I had a couple conversations with Nolan that day, and I talked to him and a couple of my other buddies. They are in a group. I was not focused on anyone solely, like looking and pointing anyone out, because there's so many people out there. I mean, I was talking to my friends that I haven't seen in a while from high school. I was talking from people I knew from college. I was talking to, you know, everybody my age, and even people older than us were, you know, over there. Like, I mean, it was just a regular thing. You know, we're all used to this. We've been out to the islands before. My buddies don't just go out to the island on 4th of July, but they go out, you know, every weekend. Like, I fish the islands. I don't just, you know, fish around Horn Island. I fish around Ship Island too. So I'm very familiar with the islands. And I feel like it was just a big, I talked to Nolan, and, you know, Nolan was drinking. Everybody was drinking, most of everybody. And I mean, Nolan seemed completely fine every time I talked to him. We had just regular conversations, and, you know, Nolan was making me laugh. I had a couple conversations with Nolan and Javon, Nolan and my buddy James, Nolan. And I mean, I could tell you, I mean, I talked to Nolan a couple times, but it wasn't like I was strictly sitting there talking to Nolan the whole day. I mean, there was hundreds of people I knew out there.
Warren Hudson grew up with Nolan, called him his brother, right? Said they spoke multiple times that day, said that there were hundreds of people on the island, said that Nolan showed up with no signs of anything wrong, and the person closest to him is not describing a hate crime. He's describing a tragedy that got turned into content. Now, here's what I'm sitting with. We reached a place where a young black man's death is only useful if it can be aimed at a political target. If the friend who knew him says it didn't fit, that friend becomes inconvenient. And his race, unfortunately, is going to play a role in that for some people. The lawyers stay relevant, rather. The preachers stay booked. The actual relationship gets pushed to the side. And that's not justice, man. That's inventory. Black people, you know, deserve better than being treated like props in somebody else's fundraising cycle, right? We deserve the right to look at the full picture without being called traitors for doing it, right? We deserve to hear from the people who actually knew the young man before we hear from the people who just met the cameras. Nolan Wells is unfortunately gone. That part is real. Everything else is being built on top of him right now, and they're just trying to make it earn a place. I don't really know how to explain it. Everything else being built on top of him needs to earn its place. If the friend who grew up with him is telling the truth, then a lot of the loudest voices in this moment are doing something else entirely, right? I'm not asking anybody to pick a side. I'm asking you to notice who needs the story to stay simple and who is willing to let it be complicated. That's the difference. So if you made it to the end of this video, I want you to comment the word brother. You shall not spread a false report. You shall not join hands with a wicked man to be a malicious witness. Exodus 23:1. Y'all be safe. Go check on somebody today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Peace.